Now joining us, Matt Graham, founder, CEO of MBS Awesome, most informative, mbslive.net with a market overview. Matt, how do you follow that, bud?
Oh, you got to just amplify it and call attention to how appropriate and accurate it is, because that's what's going on right now. And that's what my opening commentary for the week was. It was all about the reconnection between economic data and market movement. The more varied the data is, the more volatility we're going to have. And it's an interesting time because the most recent era that's available to our memories as market watchers is this post-Great Financial Crisis era, in which most of the years, probably 80% of the time, was spent with a relative disconnection between economic data and market movement. And if we look at the time frames where that occurred, it almost like clockwork happened when the Fed was engaged in a policy stance that was well understood and not likely to change for the foreseeable future. And then there was a big reconnection with data when things were in a state of flux. For instance, early 2013, Bernanke started talking about tapering, but then the data took things in one direction, and then the data took things in the other direction, especially May 3rd, 2013, when the NFP was revised for the previous month, and the current month NFP came out, and you had one of the biggest episodes of market movement in a long time at the time. Yeah. And then same story post-COVID, the Fed stance was well understood. Volatility was incredibly muted through most of 2021. And then 2022, when policy was in a state of flux, things start to pick back up, especially with respect to CPI. Then the Fed was in this sort of predictable rate hike cycle. Things leveled off again, went sideways. Now that the Fed is talking about, hey, maybe we're at our terminal rate and we're just going to modulate policy by how long we stay there, but we'll let data decide. Now you have both the Fed and the rest of the financial market hanging on every word that comes out of these economic reports. And that's what my segment this morning was going to dovetail into, was just going to say they reiterated that. Powell did a great job of reiterating that last week, really threaded the needle, in my opinion. Market reaction concurred. Following day, we had econ data that was much stronger than expected, both for jobless claims and GDP, and you saw rates take off very quickly. So the formula played out in real time. And now this week, if we're thinking about the big ticket reports that happen between now and the next Fed announcement, this week has an outsized proportion of those reports, not just because we have NFP on Friday, the big jobs report, but we also get both ISM reports, ADP jobs, job openings and labor turnover survey tomorrow. And let's see, of course, with us as always is jobless claims. But anyway, it's the star-studded lineup. And if the message is unified, we could see quite a bit of movement, 20 bips, 30 bips in 10-year yields. And if the message is mixed or conflicted, then we could just see a ton of two-way volatility. Either way, Les's message about more volatility is right on and data dependent. A phrase you'll get more tired of hearing than you already are.
Hey, I love he does it so well.
All right, Parker.
Or is it Igor?
This could deteriorate quickly when we're doing that. Those Yogi Berra, but that was really brilliant, Parker. What you did, I love what you got going on. Before we move into talking about the M&A stuff,
Matt does such a good job of giving the details of why. That's all of what that's the beauty of how you've lined up this program. I get to do my fun little thing, and I try to have at least one, if not two, pretty significant items that's embedded in there. And then Matt, of course, he presents it all, right? So that's what the data recently was, what the data recently were, and what the data are going to be. And in what those interpretations were in the past and what the interpretations will be. And I get to just have fun. So thanks a lot, man. I do appreciate what you do.
Yeah, it's good teamwork.
Yeah, it is good teamwork. and what is you guys both know Adam, your previous partner in the business, and you're both real close to him. And so I think it's fun to see how you guys link up on some of the data that's out there. And I love Adam Quinones' reports at his newsletter, so I should give him a shout out on that.
Adam Quinones. Adam
Quinones. Yeah, I said that a little too quickly. Yes, Adam Quinones. Very brilliant. Yeah, and his mind, the way he writes is just amazing. Any one of our listeners is not getting signed up.
You can call it that. Yes, you can call it amazing. That's a good word.
It is. It's brilliant. It's well written.
Matt and I both love Adam. I think we both know him for a long time.
Yep. You guys both big admirer of him. Okay. Anything else, Matt, for us today?
No, I think we touched on all the important points. Higher rates last week due to that data, and anybody's guess this week due to the upcoming data.